Join me as I turn this into this, or this, my Valentine's Day garland.
Hello craft friends, thanks for joining today. Today I'm going to show you how to make this awesome wooden bead garland. It's really wooden beads, wooden round beads and some felt. And it's really simple to do, yet it's a great statement piece to decorate your house for Valentine's Day like we have here. Or I even replace the felt hearts with some pine needle type decorative pieces for the holidays, for Christmas. So it's a great versatile piece. So welcome, and if this is your first time here, I do simple crafts that make a statement and that are very impressive. Yes, Blakely would like to say that too. Yeah? Yeah. So please, if this is your first time here, please subscribe right here. Subscribe! And you will be notified when we do any other crafts. All the supplies are in the link below, are in the description below. All the supplies links are in the description below. And all you really need for this craft, pretty simple, is wooden beads, paint for the red beads, felt, hot glue, and some stuffing. So all of the supplies are listed below in the link. And without further ado, let me show you how to make this craft.
So first we're going to prep the twine. Take some Scotch tape and roll the end of the twine with Scotch tape. You want to do this so it doesn't fray when you bead. So just roll it super tight, tight as you can. And if you have excess Scotch tape, if you tore off too much and you don't need that much for the end of your twine, then you can cut off the rest of the Scotch tape. We just roll it up, and then I like to cut it at an angle, almost like a needle, so then the end doesn't fray and you can bead freely. So here I'm just using two different size beads. I'm using a 1-inch bead and a 16 millimeter bead. So here I'm just alternating 1-inch bead, then a 16 millimeter bead, and that's basically it for the whole garland. The set of beads that I bought ended up having the exact same amount of each size bead, so it was perfect. It ended perfectly even, and I was happy with it. So go ahead and just continue beading until you're done with the rest of your beads. To tie off the end, you're going to go ahead and do a slip knot. So I leave plenty of twine at the end to work with your knots. So I do like this because I like a little loop at the end in case I want to hang it from there, but you are more than welcome to tie it however you want, but this is how I do it. So I first do a slip knot and then take the remaining end of the slip knot and the other part of the twine that the beads are on and do another overhand knot, locking the ends together in place. You might have to wiggle a little bit getting that first knot through the knot you're making now, but yeah, just wiggle it through and then you'll eventually get through. If this is too hard, just knot it however you want at the end. Like, this is my own way that I like to have a loop and then I knot it. So just do however you want if this is like confusing you. I don't want it to confuse you. Just knot the ends. And then cut off the remaining twine. And there you go. That's the end of the loop. For the next garland, I'm using 3 different sizes of beads. I'm using a 20 millimeter, a 14 millimeter, and a 12 millimeter. So I'll reference them as small, medium, and large. The small ones I painted red, and all I did to paint them red was to put them in a plastic bag with some red paint, rolled them around, and then let them dry on parchment paper. So like you see, I'm just prepping the twine like I did for the other one, cutting it at an angle, making sure that it can just get in those small beads easy. If you didn't, roll it tight enough with the Scotch tape, you might have to redo it just because the holes on the smallest bead is a little bit smaller than the others. So you can see here I'm alternating medium bead, small bead, and then large bead, medium bead, small bead, and then large bead, and basically just continue doing this until I'm out of beads. I ended up with some beads left over of one of the sizes, but it was no big deal. I'll probably use them for some macrame project or whatnot. But the beads that I have listed in the description below definitely give you plenty to make a good sized garland. So you just continue, medium size bead, small bead, large bead, and you continue till you're done. And then just to show you the knot again, I like to bead while it's still connected to the spool of twine, just because sometimes I don't know how long I'm going to want my string. And then once I'm done, I knot the end that I was working with and then make sure all the beads are tight and then knot the end that was connected to the spool. So just cut off the string on the spool and then do the knot again. I do a slip knot pretty far away from the end of the beads, maybe 3 inches or so, just so I have some room to work with. And then I do an overhand knot to lock in those ends all the way down at the base of the beads. So same knot that I did before, just showing you again. And it creates a loop at the end. I like a loop. I don't know why, but I like loop, even if it's shown, even if it's just hanging there. I feel like it's like a little rustic touch or something. Voila, there you go. So next we're gonna work on the felt hearts. And I did both of my largest hearts in red. So I take a piece of felt, fold it in half, and I eyeball my hearts. So if you're not comfortable just eyeballing and cutting your hearts freehand, then always feel free to find like a heart online and trace it. But I just kind of freehand my hearts. If it doesn't turn out exactly how I want it, I just trim it a little more. Like this one's a little odd shape, so I'm making the dip at the top a little bit deeper. And then it's still a little kind of square, so I just want to round out the sides. So fold it back up and round out the sides. And I always start a lot bigger, and you can always trim it down. You can't do opposite, obviously. So I'm pretty happy with that heart. Next, because I'm going to make these hearts stuffed, I then want another side to the heart. I want double of this. So I put it down on another piece of felt and just cut around it. And then I'm going to make this like basically a little pocket so I can stuff it and it has some body to it. So you're going to take the hot glue gun and hot glue all around the heart about a 1/2 inch in, except for about maybe a 3-inch spot along the straight side. So you want to keep a side open so you can stuff it, but we want to seal all the other parts. So go ahead and hot glue it, but leave about maybe a 3-inch spot where you don't hot glue it that we can stuff it. So then I'm just using recycled old gift tissue paper, and you want to tear them into little pieces. You don't want to try to stuff the whole tissue paper in there because they'll make it bulky and awkward and not shape right. So I tear the tissue paper into little pieces. You can use newspaper, you can use new tissue paper, just look at what you have around the house. So I take tiny little pieces and I start with the top of the heart, the kind of rounded parts, and I just stuff the tissue paper up into the top of the heart, and then I stuff it into the point of the heart, and then I work on the middle. Basically just working my way towards the edge. Just keep stuffing till it's all full. And when it feels good, then you'll just glue it up. So once it feels stuffed to your liking, just go ahead and continue that hot glue along that open edge. Press it down. You might have to kind of pull it tight so it doesn't wrinkle. Just be careful, don't burn yourself. And there you go. I like to kind of flatten out the patting inside. Even it out. Move it around, even it out. Make sure it's good. Then I just continued this for the next size heart, which I did in white. So I did it a little bit smaller, but same process. Stuffed it full. Super cute. And then next for this pink heart, I didn't stuff it. Since it's little, I thought it would also create a cool little dimension to have one not stuffed. So just cut out this pink heart and a little bit smaller than the white heart. Looked at the placement on how I wanted it all to be glued together and just glued it together. Pretty simple, pretty cute. I also then did another set of these with the hearts shaped a little bit differently for the other side of the garland. So I did 2 sets of these. The other thing I did is that I took little strips of felt and hot glued little loops with those strips on the back of these hearts. So I had somewhere to hang it from on the garland. So that was my way of hanging it all together. So it's looking pretty good. I'm really happy with how it looks with the garland. Super excited to hang it up. And there we go. What a fun Valentine's Day garland. I'm just so, so happy with it. And here's the finished. Here it is hung up in my entryway. So cute. I hung it up together. The red and wood one ended up being a tad bit longer, which is perfect, than the all natural one. And here it is hung up over my fireplace. So cute.
I hope you enjoyed this craft and I hope you try it out for yourself. Like I said, all the links for the supplies are listed below in the description, so check that out. And then I love being in touch with you other than YouTube, so you could subscribe here or join us here at Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook, right? So you can see more of this little face. And also don't forget to subscribe. You can thumbs up this video, subscribe here. Yeah, subscribe here, and we will see you next time.